Welcome, and thank you for choosing to download the Purpose Activation Blueprint. If you haven't done so yet, you can click on the link right below this video and download the PDF ebook of the blueprint. My name is Kyle, and I want to congratulate you for stepping on to your purpose discovery path. And for some of you, you might already be pretty far along that path and have a good sense of your purpose. And for others, maybe it's you're new to the journey and this is your first time really exploring your purpose. So wherever you are in your purpose journey, you're in the right place. You're here with us today, and it's great to have you. So by downloading this Purpose Activation Blueprint, you are going to get the 4 key steps that are going to help you activate your purpose more fully in the world. And we're excited about that and excited for you. So I'm here with my collaborator on the Purpose Activation Blueprint, Brandon Peele. Hello, Brandon.
Hello, and welcome, everyone.
Good to have you here with me, Brandon. And so in this training video today, Brandon and I are going to take a deeper dive into the first step of the Purpose Activation Blueprint. And that first step is called Know Your Purpose. And we're also going to introduce you to the purpose statement formula today, which is part of this first step. And that formula is composed of 3 elements that we're going to talk about on this video. The first is your essence. The second is your gifts. And then the third is your mission. So we're going to dive more deeply into each of those on this video today. So before we do that, just a little backstory here to kind of get you familiar with how we got here to today to be with you. A couple of years ago, I co-created the Power of Purpose Global Summit in partnership with the Mankind Project USA. And we had over 10,000 people from 85 countries with nearly 30 expert speakers sharing their wisdom about purpose. It was an amazing experience and had a lot of positive feedback. And so out of that, we decided to create a course on purpose, especially for men. The Mankind Project is focused on supporting men on their journeys to finding their mission of service in the world. And so we partnered with them and we built this course, and it's a 7-week course called the Man on Purpose course. And in that course, we developed this technology that you're going to learn more about today, including the purpose statement formula and some other things that we'll share with you down the road. So that's a little bit of an intro, and now I'd like Brandon to share with us some really cool research and data about people living on purpose. So Brandon?
Thanks, Chris. So choosing to find and live your life's purpose is the smartest, most effective use of your time. In my company, where I help people find, live, and profit from their purpose, I've amassed a trove of research from leading institutions that correlate living in and finding your purpose with the good life. So I'd like to share with you what I call the science of purpose. Leading institutions such as Harvard, Stanford, Cornell, and UCLA have linked finding your purpose with a long life, up to 7 years longer. They've linked it with a strong heart, 19% reduction in death from coronary heart disease, a strong mind, reduction in Alzheimer's, stroke, and depression rates, and strong, joyful, and fulfilling relationships, more profitable businesses, a more just society, and a more sustainable economy. Now, all of this research in its details is inside the Purpose Activation Blueprint, so make sure you download it. And now that you're aware of how powerful, transformative, and central purpose is to the good life, let's jump in. Let's get you started with your purpose. Chris?
Absolutely. Thanks, Brandon. Let's dive in. So we're going to start real simple. Definition of purpose. So ask 100 people what they mean by purpose or how they define purpose, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get 100 different answers. And so we're going to share our definition of purpose, and it is just ours, but we think it's pretty powerful and comes from years of talking with experts about purpose and working with literally thousands of people around purpose. So here it goes. So the purpose definition is, purpose is the act of giving my authentic self, my true essence, along with my gifts and talents to the world in service of something bigger than myself. So I'll say that again. So purpose is the act of giving my authentic self, my true essence, along with my gifts and talents to the world in service to something bigger than myself. So when we look at this, when we take a deep look at this definition, we have the components in it that we're going to talk about today: essence, gifts, and mission. And so the first step in the Purpose Activation Blueprint, Know Your Purpose, is that first step is is these three components of the purpose statement formula. And as I mentioned before, those elements are your essence, your gifts, and your mission. So before we dive into talking more about those, I want to share my purpose that I've created for myself, and also Brandon's going to share his. So here's mine. So as a passionate, deeply curious, and present man, I nurture and inspire growth and transformation in others through building and teaching learning programs that opens hearts and minds. So that's mine. And Brandon, what's yours?
Thanks, Chris. So my purpose statement is, as a man of integrity, learning, and passion, I inspire and coach people to live their purpose in service of a better world.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll break that down in a moment. So you've heard the components in the purpose statement of essence, gifts, and also mission. So here's how the flow works is, so a life of purpose begins with who I am, begins with that being state, my essence. And it's not just all about the doing. Like, purpose isn't just a doing thing out there. So it begins with my essence. And then from this authentic self, this essence, flows my natural gifts and talents. Those are the things that bring me alive in my life. Those are the things that I'm passionate about. When I'm giving it, it's effortless, natural, and there's a passion that arises. And then finally, these two are focused into action in service to something that needs to change or shift in the world, or something to support others in some way with my gifts and my talents and my essence in tow, is that this is my mission, that vision and action put into the world. So let's begin with essence. So essence is this. It's pretty simple. It's the qualities or the characteristics of our being. So another way to look at it, it's how we might describe ourselves or others describe us in terms of the qualities that shine naturally and effortlessly from us. So for example, these are just some simple words that people have used to define their essence. So kind, wise, curious, playful, courageous, creative, present, loving, passionate. So you get the point there. Any number of words that can describe it. And if you recall, mine were passionate, deeply curious, and present. That's a nice triad of words that really describes me. So when we're in our essence, and this is kind of the clue for you, when we're in our essence, that we naturally and effortlessly exude these qualities. As we describe these qualities of ourselves, that they just come out of us naturally. They're not forced. We don't have to try to make them happen. And also, these qualities that describe us can actually be changed and shifted and augmented and grown over time. So we're always evolving in these qualities as well. So even if you don't necessarily feel that way now, it still is a way that you describe your essence when you're with others or just naturally in the world. So one easy way for you to reflect on this for yourself, on your essence, and here's a kind of a scenario to give you to think about this. And that scenario is that imagine yourself at an event, some event. It's either outdoors, indoors, wherever. There's lots of people there, but you know the people. See, these are people you're familiar with, comfortable with, and you feel at ease, you feel grounded, you feel safe. So it's a place where you can just naturally let you out, whatever that is. So think about that. Maybe a real event that you've been to recently or sometime in your life where you can just imagine yourself at an event like this. And then ask yourself this: how do I show up in that kind of setting with all these other people? What are the qualities or characteristics of you that show up when you're in a situation like that? And you might just think back on, okay, when I'm in that situation and I feel relaxed and at ease, oh, this is what's showing up. There's a level of humor and brightness or compassion. So you'll know what they are. So that's a way for you to reflect on it for yourself. And so for each of these pieces, for your essence, your gifts, and your mission, we're going to have an action tip for you, a practice, if you will. So our action tip number 1 for essence is this. So here's what we invite you to do is pick 5 people who know you really well. And they can be from different parts of your life, maybe from family, colleagues, group of friends, partner, whoever, but kind of create a mix and pick those 5 people, and then use actually an email to do this, not in person, and send them an email and ask them, will you tell me what qualities or characteristics do you see that I naturally and effortlessly exude? So what actually shines through when you see me or think about me and you see me with other people? How do I show up? And what are those qualities or characteristics? So have them write 5 to 7 words, single words, or short phrases about that. And then you'll collect that and see how they all compare or contrast, and then compare it with your own reflection. And that will help to give you a better picture of your essence. So that's essence. Now we're going to shift to the element number 2. So Brandon.
Thanks, Chris. So the second part of this formula is our gifts, slightly more active element of our purpose. So what do we mean by gifts? These are the natural abilities that we have, our acquired skills, talents, expressions of our essence that bring us joy and make us feel alive. They can also be of great value to others. So they're definitely a contribution to ourselves, but oftentimes other people appreciate it as well. So these are the ways that we transform the world, such as teaching, creating, healing, listening, building, protecting, providing. So the beautiful part about our gifts is that they only increase over time. As we get more mastery, we get better at our gifts, and we cultivate new gifts. We begin to grow brand new skills out of our existing gifts. And so that's the beauty of practicing them over and over. We get better at them. So for example, if my essence is humor, one of my gifts could be telling jokes. And as I get better at telling jokes and landing the delivery and the punchline and the timing, I'm getting more joy because I'm mastering my craft. And potentially other people are enjoying it better too, because I'm being a much better comic. So how do we move this into action? How do we take our gifts and consciously amplify them? So the action tip number 2 is to make a list of 5 gifts that meet these conditions. So these 2 conditions are that they're of value to you or somebody else, and they bring you alive. They make you feel engaged, inspired. And so then of these 5 gifts, choose one that you know that you'll have the opportunity to exercise over the next week. So just look ahead the next 7 days, which gift do you know you're going to be able to do? So if it's playing music, on Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to play the guitar for 45 minutes. And so what you want to do is bring your awareness to that act of giving away your gift. And it's different than just kind of showing up and doing it. It's actually saying, all right, I'm going to be conscious of my own experience, my own quality of consciousness as I'm playing the guitar. So for me, one of my gifts is writing. It's something that I love to do, it's something other people enjoy. And the thing is, in the morning, I'm drinking coffee, I'm banging on the keys, and I'm immersed in the activity, which is generally a good thing. It's like I have this timeless, selfless experience. But I can enhance my experience of that activity when I drop in and say, oh, what does it feel like to create right now? And so when I do that, I notice that there's this sense of joy, this sense of discovery, play, of exploration. Like I've created and discovered something that has never been done before. Crafted that sentence in a way that I've never done it before. So that's what we mean by kind of bringing awareness to your gift. So now that we have our essence and our gifts firmly in view, let's move on to the third and final piece of the equation. Chris?
Great. Hey, thank you, Brandon. So the third element, we're in it, of the purpose statement formula is mission. So mission is the way we harness all that we are. And it's also a way of us being able to offer ourselves and our essence and our gifts toward a vision larger than ourselves. So mission is comprised of 2 components, vision plus action. And so it's important to see that as we look out into the world and we see what's happening in the world, in order to navigate it, we must have the knowledge of what's in the world, like what's happening out there that may need our support, that may need our gifts. And then once we're in the world, then we also have to look at what is it that is needed, what is possible for the world to be better or different or something to shift positively. And so that's that kind of vision forward. What could the world be like? And so when we take a look and we put this sort of the vision and action together, we're noticing that something may be calling me forth. So this is where it begins to come out of your own kind of sense of trying to figure it out and drive to a specific way of, specific way of your mission being in the world, is as you look out, you begin to see what's needed in the world. And then how do I bring particularly my gifts and my talents, my action, to making that vision a reality? And that's really the power of mission, is I'm starting to look at unhooking it from myself and from what I need and my own path, if you will, to then how do I be of service to help co-creating a better world. And so when we talk about then mission, it's now making sure that you align, and this is what we talk about when we talk about actions, is that those actions are aligned with your essence, they're aligned with your gifts, and they're also now aligned with this vision of what the world could be. And I think an important thing is to also think about what could the world be, and what do you want it to be for your children, if you have children, or for your grandchildren, or 7 generations forward, is to be thinking about leaving our planet better than we found it as well. So our action tip number 3 for working with mission is this. So get out your journal or a piece of paper and write 1 or 2 paragraphs, nothing too long. I mean, if you want to go longer, that's fine. And write what you would like the world to be, or what your vision of the world would look like for you, kind of your ideal vision of what's possible in the world. So that might look like a sustainable world, a just world, a peaceful world, a world where everybody is honored and respected. You get the point there, is that there may be some elements that are most important to you about how you hold and see the world. And then maybe envision that as like what's possible over the next 20 to 25 years for this vision. And then once you've done that, and just write that out in long form or journal that, and then the next section is create a new page or on that same page, and then write a couple of paragraphs of what actions are you doing specifically that help make that vision a reality. So then just start writing, what is that? What does that look like? I'm doing this, I'm mentoring here, I'm coaching here, I'm building this, I'm being creative with these projects that inspire people. Whatever it is for you, those are the action words of what you're actually doing. And then you begin to see, as you see the vision that you're writing about, what's possible and what you'd like to see in the world, and your action, you can begin to condense those, and you can bring those down into something very simple of the vision and then the action that's making that vision a reality. So that's it for that. And then turning it back to Brandon to kind of take us home with the purpose statement formula. Brandon?
Thanks, Chris. So now that we have our essence, gifts, and mission identified, we just need to put the equation together and form our purpose statement. So if you recall from my purpose statement, there are elements of essence, gift, and mission. So my essence being integrity, learning, and passion. My gifts, coaching, writing, and inspiring. And my mission, a world of 7 billion people living their purpose. So when I put all these together, I have, as a man of integrity, learning, and passion, I inspire and coach people to live their purpose in service of a better world. So it's important to note that purpose statements are evolutionary. They grow and evolve over time. And specifically, as we learn new gifts, as we develop greater mastery, and as we complete our missions, we're going to want new purpose statements. So you're probably going to want to revisit them at least once a year, if not 2 or 3 times a year, because they will evolve. As you grow and change, you'll start to see the world, see yourself in a much deeper way. So let's use this purpose statement, and it's because it's really a tool. It's a decision-making tool. So right now, this purpose statement is a thing that you can weigh options of decisions against. So I want you to pick an area of your life, or pick a decision where you don't have a lot of clarity right now. Now take that decision and take each of the options that you have for that decision and hold them up against your purpose statement, and feel into which option most serves your life's purpose. And my gut is one of these will start to feel like, wow, okay, this one is got some electricity to it. It might not be the easiest one, it might not be the most comfortable one, but it's the most aligned with who I am as a person. So your purpose statement is really a decision-making tool. Now that you have this, you're ready to take on the world. Chris?
Great, thank you, Brandon. So that's right. Now you've got a better sense of understanding the key elements of knowing your purpose and building your purpose statement. So all of this information, some more details are in the Purpose Activation Blueprint, and with the formula and some steps to help you create your purpose statement. And there's a really powerful 30-minute audio guided exercise that Brandon takes you through. That's a purpose discovery exercise where he takes you through it, where he's guiding you with his voice through it. And you can actually click on a link right in the Purpose Activation Blueprint to get to that audio, and you can download it or stream it. And that will help you a lot. I think we've given you a taste today of some more, some more nuance or information around the purpose statement formula, and this will take it just a little deeper for you. So I encourage you to do that. So the Purpose Activation Blueprint also takes you through 3 other steps besides the know your purpose. So make sure that you read each of those steps, and there's some really powerful exercises in there to help you really move from just the knowingness of your purpose to activating your purpose. And so there's a lot more great information in there for you. So really excited that you're here with us and that you've downloaded this Purpose Activation Blueprint. You're going to be hearing more from Brandon and I about a free webinar that we have coming up and other resources to support you on your purpose journey. So thank you for being here with us today again, and we'll see you soon. Brandon?
Yes, thanks for watching. We're happy to support you on your purpose journey. Take care.
Great. Thanks, guys. Bye.